The kiss came out of nowhere. One moment I was walking Miku home from the library, listening to her ramble about marine biology, and the next moment she had me pressed against the wall outside her apartment building, her lips crushing against mine with desperate intensity. Her small hands fisted in my shirt, pulling me down to her level as she kissed me like her life depended on it. I could taste the strawberry from her lip gloss, feel the way she trembled slightly as her body pressed against mine. Her lips were soft and urgent, moving with a passion that made my head spin. "Miku!" I started to pull away, but she deepened the kiss, her tongue darting out to trace my bottom lip, making me groan involuntarily. When we finally broke apart, we were both breathing hard. Her purple hair was messed up from my fingers, her cheeks flushed pink, her lips swollen from our kiss. "I love you," she whispered, her hands still clutching my shirt. "I've loved you for 2 years, Takeshi, since the day Yuki introduced us." My heart stopped. "Miku, I know you're with her. I know she's my best friend, but I can't keep pretending anymore." Her eyes were bright with unshed tears. "You're everything I've ever wanted in a guy. You're kind, smart, hardworking, and you actually listen when I talk about stupid things like Octopi having 3 hearts. Miku, just think about it, okay? Think about whether you might feel something for me too, because I think we could be amazing together." She kissed me once more, quick and sweet, then disappeared into her building before I could respond. I stood there for a long moment, my lips still tingling from her kiss, my mind reeling from her confession. Miku, bubbly, energetic, adorable Miku, was in love with me. But I had a girlfriend I was planning to propose to next month. The walk home felt longer than usual, Miku's words echoing in my head. When I finally reached my apartment, I found Yuki sitting on the couch, still in her work clothes, staring at her hands. "Hey," I said, hanging up my jacket. "How was your day?" She looked up at me and I saw something in her eyes that made my stomach drop. The same look she'd had 3 days ago when that kiss felt wrong. "We need to talk," she said quietly. I sat down across from her, a cold dread settling in my chest. "About what?" "About us. About this relationship." She took a shaky breath. "Takeshi, I can't do this anymore." "Can't do what?" "Pretend that this is working. Pretend that I'm happy here with this life we're building." The words hit me like a physical blow. "What are you talking about? Everything's been fine. We were just discussing moving to a bigger apartment." "I've been lying to myself," she interrupted. "And lying to you. I thought I could make myself feel what I'm supposed to feel, but I can't." "Yuki, what's really going on?" She looked away, unable to meet my eyes. "I'm in love with someone else." The world seemed to stop spinning. "Who?" "Your cousin, Daichi." I stared at her, certain I'd misheard. "My cousin Daichi? The guy who's never worked a day in his life? It's not about work or money." "Isn't it?" The words came out harsher than I intended. 3 weeks ago you were complaining about our tiny apartment, about how I work 2 jobs just to pay rent. Now you're leaving me for someone who gets a new luxury car every month from his trust fund." Her face flushed with anger and guilt. "You don't understand. Daichi gets me in ways you never have." "Right. I'm sure his credit card really understands you." "Don't be cruel, Takeshi." "Cruel? You're breaking up with me for my rich cousin, and I'm being cruel?" Tears started falling down her cheeks. "I never meant for this to happen." "When did it start?" "Last month. When we ran into him at that expensive restaurant you could never afford to take me to." The words slipped out before she could stop them, and we both heard how they sounded. "There it is," I said quietly. "The truth." "That's not what I meant." "Yes, it is. You're tired of dating someone who can't buy you nice things, someone who works for what he has instead of inheriting it." She was crying harder now. "I'm moving out tonight. Daichi's sending a car to pick me up." Of course he was. After she left, taking 2 years of my life with her, I sat alone in our suddenly empty apartment. The photos of us were gone from the walls. Her clothes were gone from the closet. Even her toothbrush was gone from the bathroom. I was still sitting there 2 hours later when someone knocked on my door with the rapid-fire intensity I recognized immediately. "Takeshi, open up. I know you're in there, and I know what happened because Yuki texted me, and I can't believe she actually went through with it after everything I said to her about what a terrible idea it was." And I opened the door to find Miku bouncing anxiously from foot to foot, her arms full of convenience store bags. "Hi, Miku." "Oh, Takeshi," she said, her expression immediately shifting to concern. "You look awful." "Thanks, really what I needed to hear right now." "I brought supplies." She held up the bags enthusiastically. "Ice cream, tissues, those weird chips you like, and—" She paused, studying my face more carefully. "Are you okay? I mean, obviously you're not okay, but are you going to be okay?" Despite everything, I found myself smiling slightly. "Come in, Miku." She bustled into the apartment, immediately taking over my kitchen with the same energy she brought to everything else. "Okay, here's the plan," she announced, pulling items out of bags. "First, we eat junk food. Then we watch terrible movies and make fun of the characters. Then we eat more junk food. Then we stay up too late talking about how stupid people are sometimes, especially people named Yuki, who make really bad life choices. Miku, I know you probably want to be alone and brood dramatically like guys in movies always do, but trust me, brooding alone just makes everything worse. What you need is a friend who will distract you with random facts and force-feed you chocolate." She was already pulling ice cream out of the freezer, moving around my kitchen like she belonged there. "Did you know," she said, handing me a spoon, "that dolphins have names for each other? Like actual names they use to call specific dolphins. Isn't that amazing? They have better communication skills than most humans I know." I watched her animated explanation, complete with hand gestures that nearly knocked over the ice cream container, and felt some of the tightness in my chest ease. "How do you know all these random facts?" "I read a lot when I can't sleep, which is most nights because my brain never stops moving. Yuki always said I think too much, but I think most people don't think enough, you know?" "Yeah, I know." We ended up on the couch with the ice cream between us, watching some ridiculous action movie where nothing made sense and everything exploded. "Oh, come on," Miku shouted at the TV, throwing a pillow at the screen. "There's no way that helicopter can fit through that tunnel. Basic physics, people. It's just a movie. Movies should still follow the laws of science. What's the point of having laws if everyone just ignores them?" I found myself laughing for the first time since Yuki left. "You're insane." "Thank you, I work very hard at it." She grinned at me, her whole face lighting up. "See? You're smiling. My master plan is working." "What master plan?" "To make you realize that life goes on after stupid people make stupid decisions. Also to prove that I'm way more fun than Yuki ever was." "Miku, I know, too soon. But seriously, Takeshi, you're better off without her. She never appreciated how amazing you are." The way she said it, so matter-of-fact and sincere, made something warm spread through my chest. Over the next few weeks, Miku became a constant presence in my life. She'd show up after my shifts with food and terrible movies. She'd help me study for my engineering exams, somehow making calculus seem less boring with her endless questions and commentary. "But why do we need to know how to calculate the stress on a beam?" she asked one evening, lying upside down on my couch with her textbook balanced on her stomach. "Can't we just ask the beam how it's feeling?" "That's not how engineering works." "Well, it should be. Buildings would be much more honest about their problems." I was starting to understand what she'd meant about life being more fun around her. Everything was lighter with Miku there. Even my heartbreak felt more manageable when she was making me laugh about dolphin communication or arguing with TV characters. But I was also starting to notice other things. The way she lit up when I walked into a room. How she remembered every little thing I mentioned, from my favorite coffee order to my exam schedule. The way she looked at me when she thought I wasn't paying attention. Soft and hopeful and full of something that looked a lot like love. "Miku," I said one evening as we cleaned up after another study session, "about what you said that night outside your apartment." She froze, a stack of papers halfway to my desk. "We don't have to talk about that. But I think we should." "No, really, it's fine. I know you don't feel that way about me. I'm just your ex-girlfriend's weird best friend who talks too much and knows too many random facts. Is that really what you think? She shrugged, not meeting my eyes. It's what everyone thinks. I stepped closer to her, close enough to see the way her breathing changed. What if I told you that you're wrong? About dolphins having names. About what I think of you. She looked up at me then, hope and fear warring in her expression. What do you think of me? Instead of answering with words, I cupped her face in my hands and kissed her. This kiss was different from the desperate one she'd given me weeks ago. This one was slow, deliberate, full of all the feelings I'd been trying to ignore. She made a soft sound of surprise against my lips before melting into me, her arms wrapping around my neck. When we broke apart, we were both breathing hard. I think, I said quietly, that you're the most genuine person I've ever met. I think you make everything better just by being yourself. And I think I've been falling for you since the day you brought me ice cream and dolphin facts. Really? Her voice was small, vulnerable in a way I'd never heard before. Really? If you'll have me. If I'll have you? She laughed, tears streaming down her face. Takeshi, I've wanted you since the moment we met. I just never thought, I never imagined you could see me as anything more than the annoying best friend. You're not annoying. I talk constantly about random things. I love listening to you talk. I have way too much energy. You make life interesting. I'm not elegant or sophisticated like Yuki. You're real. You're yourself, always, completely. Do you know how rare that is? She kissed me again, and this time there was no hesitation, no holding back. Her hands tangled in my hair as I lifted her up, her legs wrapping around my waist as I carried her to the couch. Are you sure about this? She whispered against my ear as I trailed kisses down her neck. I've never been more sure of anything. What followed was the most natural, beautiful thing I'd ever experienced. Unlike with Yuki, where everything felt calculated and performed, with Miku everything was spontaneous and real. She laughed when I tickled her sides, gasped when I found sensitive spots, and whispered my name like a prayer when I made her feel good. I love you, she said afterward, curled against my chest, her fingers tracing patterns on my skin. I've loved you for so long. I love you too, I said, meaning it completely. I'm sorry it took me so long to see what was right in front of me. Better late than never. 6 months later, we ran into Yuki at a cafe downtown. She looked tired, stressed, and significantly less glamorous than when she'd left me for the high life. Takeshi, she said, approaching our table hesitantly. Miku? Hi, Yuki, Miku said cheerfully, not letting go of my hand. How are things with Daichi? Yuki's expression crumpled slightly. Actually, we broke up last month. Oh, no. Miku's concern was genuine despite everything. What happened? Yuki glanced at me, then away. He got bored. Said I was too needy, too clingy. Apparently I wasn't sophisticated enough for his social circle. I felt no satisfaction in her obvious misery. If anything, I felt sorry for her. I'm sorry to hear that, I said quietly. Are you? She looked at our joined hands, at the obvious happiness radiating from both of us. You two look good together. We are good together, Miku said simply. Turns out we have a lot in common. Like what? Like we both think Takeshi is amazing and wonderful, and any girl who would leave him for a trust fund baby is clearly suffering from temporary insanity. Despite everything, Yuki smiled slightly. You always were too honest for your own good, Miku. It is one of my best qualities, along with my encyclopedic knowledge of sea creatures and my ability to make excellent ramen. She really does make excellent ramen, I added, squeezing Miku's hand. Yuki studied us for a moment, and I saw something like regret cross her features. I made a mistake, didn't I? Yes, Miku said without hesitation. A really big one. But it's okay, because it worked out perfectly for everyone who matters. What? I'm being nice. I said it worked out perfectly. After Yuki left, Miku turned to me with sparkling eyes. That went well, don't you think? You basically told your former best friend that her life choices were terrible. They were terrible, but I was very polite about it. I kissed her forehead, marveling again at how she could make any situation feel lighter. I love you, you crazy person. I love you too. Now, did you know that sea otters hold hands when they sleep, so they don't drift apart? No, I didn't know that. Well, now you do. Consider it today's random fact of love. 2 years later, I graduated with my engineering degree and landed a job at a prestigious firm. Miku changed her major twice more before settling on art therapy, claiming she wanted to help people express their feelings through creativity. Like how I expressed my feelings by kissing you against that wall, she said, when I teased her about the career choice. Exactly like that. We moved in together officially, into a nice apartment that we could actually afford together. Miku filled it with plants, random art projects, and marine biology textbooks. I filled it with engineering manuals and pictures of us being ridiculously happy. You know what I love most about our story, she said one evening as we cooked dinner together, her energy making even mundane tasks feel like adventures. What's that? It proves that sometimes the best things come from the worst situations. If Yuki hadn't left you, we might never have figured out how perfect we are together. So you're thanking her? I'm thanking the universe for making her temporarily stupid. There's a difference. I laughed, pulling her into my arms and spinning her around the kitchen. She shrieked with delight, her hair flying everywhere, her smile bright enough to light up the entire apartment. Takeshi. What? I have a random fact for you. Lay it on me. Did you know that some types of penguins propose to their mates by giving them the perfect pebble? I set her down, studying her expectant expression. Is that so? Yep. They search everywhere for the most beautiful stone they can find, and when they present it to their chosen penguin, it's like saying, I choose you forever. Interesting, I said, reaching into my pocket for the small box I'd been carrying for 2 weeks, waiting for the perfect moment. Her eyes went wide as I dropped to one knee. Miku Hayashi, I said, opening the box to reveal the engagement ring I'd chosen specifically for her, not a traditional diamond, but a beautiful blue stone that matched her vibrant personality. Will you be my penguin? She stared at the ring for exactly 2 seconds before launching herself at me with characteristic enthusiasm, nearly knocking us both over. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my God, you used my penguin fact. That's so perfect. I love you so much. As I slipped the ring onto her finger, I thought about the journey that had brought us here. How Yuki leaving me had felt like the end of the world, but had actually been the beginning of something infinitely better. Hey, Miku. Yeah? Thank you. For what? For being yourself. For making me laugh. For showing me what real love feels like. Thank you for being worth falling in love with, she said, kissing me softly, and for listening to all my random facts without telling me to shut up. Never, I promised. I want to hear every random fact you've got for the rest of our lives. Careful what you wish for, she grinned. I have a lot of facts. Did you know that seahorses mate for life and the males carry the babies? I do now. Good. That's tomorrow's fact. Today's fact is that I love you more than dolphins love echolocation. Is that a lot? It's everything. As we sat there on our kitchen floor, engaged and laughing and completely in love, I realized something important. Sometimes, losing what you think you want leads you to what you actually need. And sometimes the person who saves you is the one who was right there all along, just waiting for you to notice how amazing they are. I'd found my forever in the most unexpected place, in the hyperactive, fact-spouting, incredibly loving heart of the girl I'd almost let slip away. Best decision I never saw coming.